Being an artist and an entrepreneur is treated like oil and water when it comes to just being creative, making money, and I don't know, I feel like it's conspiracy. It's a lot of bullshit. It's just a lot of bullshit. I went through the malarkey, had to unlearn that shit. But I be seeing the conversations, and for whatever reason, there's like some inner struggle with artists when it comes to, oh, I gotta market. Why should I monetize my hobby? Capitalism is so evil, but like, I gotta pay bills and eat and pay for things. Like, you gotta pay, you can't have both ways. Um, and even in that realm where it's like, I just want to make enough to be comfortable. Yeah, fuck that. I'm getting large sums of money. I'm living rapper rich out this bitch. So that I'm a natural born artist, live an artist, born an artist, die artist. They ain't never gonna change. But when it comes to money and business and whatnot, I had to put the shit on the shelf for a little bit. And I'm still working towards where I can invest the majority of my time in just creating. But the fact of the matter is you do need the structure to, you need the structure, you need the containment, you need a consistency. You need to have that finite system with which to live your dream of spending most of your time. You have to create that lifestyle for yourself to make it possible to do so. Thus, this is the artist segment of the Art of Biz and Chill, my podcast about, well, pretty much I'm documenting, chronicling, sharing my entrepreneurship journey and insights and experiences, plus like my travels. I'm gonna be getting back into traveling. The whole point of me having become an entrepreneur, or like a big part of it, is location independence. I ain't gotta check in with nobody wherever I want to go and wherever I want to get work done. So that will be woven into this in due time. But I'm getting more intentional about building out this content, this form of content, and making it pretty much like, I guess, the pillar or the backbone of just more in-depth content for people to get to know me, and building my personal brand, and also providing insight. My audience, I'm separating. It's not really a separation. It's pretty much just what I'm expounding upon, and establishing for my other purposes. So before I get into that, hello, I am Malainayo. I am I got two main things going on. On the artist side of things, I am a multi-talented artist and the founder of Cosmos 118, which is my entertainment arts conglomerate that encompasses all the creations that I am putting into the world and the business models behind that, particularly the brand in specific that I am, or the overall brand that I'm building, is all things Lainiverse. My artist moniker is Lainiverse. And then on the service business side of things, which is where, my livelihood is coming from, is Lainiverse Works. That is my advisory, where I am helping with the development of strategic storytelling in businesses, with the particular intention of making it like a team building exercise and building just the input that way. So hopefully, give or take, you may hear some background noise, but those are my main pillars. And when it comes to Lainiverse Works, I offer the workshops and advisory partnerships with financial technology companies or brands. And in the realm of travel, I am setting up things to become a travel UGC creator. So Lainaverse Works is also the platform or also the business with which I am setting up the particular packages that I'm offering to the travel businesses, be it tourism boards, hotels, travel publications, transportation like Amtrak, trains, airlines, just setting that up. And like I said, I'll be covering that. It all overlaps in everything what I'm doing. So with all of that in mind, this is introducing, just to give a quick overview before I get into the main topic of this episode, is that episodes were originally first, third, occasional fifth Fridays. Those were the standard episodes for just my personal documentation. But since I have specific verticals, that's why I'm expanding the posting schedule as well as the kinds of topics. Like art, again, is like the biggest, most important thing for me. So I am putting that out every Wednesday, and that coincides with, through the, the kind of art that I make, I focus on creating speculative fiction for Black women. I put out a short story every month. I put out 1 or 2 parts every week. Every Wednesday, if it's more than 1 part, I'm still figuring out what day of the week it's going to be on. But my target audience is Black women, and having in mind like a problem that I'm solving is that Black women resting has been like a big theme since the 2024 election. And I think just from my own experiences, observing the Black women in my life, especially my mother, and my disposition for being more at ease and pleasure driven, is that Black women be overworked and under-rested. And there is like a low-key campaign against us being more at ease. It's like a lot of bullshit. But ultimately, keeping that in mind, me building this framework of healthy escapism for Black women, and doing that through my storytelling, since it is fantasy, sci-fi, magical realism. Those are the genres that are, the subgenres of speculative fiction. So, there's naturally an element of escapism there. So I build out an entire experience, which I call the Afro-Feminine Escapetivities, where I suggest different products and suggest my own products, be it teas, candles. I curate playlists every month. And then I'm developing my own merch that is like cozy merch, blankets, mugs, and whatnot. And then I'm also working on a companion guide that kind of fleshes out this whole thing. Is like a philosophy, and I guess more so a philosophical lifestyle or philosophy. You should be embodying philosophies, not just reading them. So it is like a philosophy that I am introducing through my own, machinations. And yeah, I want to talk about that more. And again, as I see the artist conversations, the same ones that have been had since I started, like really committed myself to this shit 10, maybe borderline 15 years ago. And just like certain narratives that I grew up with as an artist. Just making this a space to dispel this. So overall, my audience for this podcast. Oh, before I get into that then. So the artist segments will be going out on every Wednesday. I still have the first, third, and occasional Fridays of the regular kind of episodes, just overall checking in. And then on second and fourth Fridays, I am introducing fintech segments where I'm speaking specifically to the problems that I'm solving in fintech, since those are, it's my client base, is where I'm getting the bread. That's where I'm getting most of my money from. So I feel like that's valuable. So the artist segments is called the artsy Biz and Chill. The fintech segments are Biz and Chill Fintech. And then we just have the typical The Art of Biz and Chill episodes. And as far as my audience, again, this is a personal branding thing, but it's just, tracking my development as an entrepreneur. And it's an opportunity for me to develop relationships and target whomever is just curious about entrepreneurship. You're developing as an entrepreneur, you're currently an entrepreneur, you're interested in different perspectives. Maybe you're a prospective client or a potential customer of either my service business or the work that I'm putting out from All Things Lainaverse. So it's ultimately, the point is about, it's education, but ultimately, the relationship development, trust building and whatnot. So let's get into this is a very long intro. Or I don't even want to say it's an overview, because it's a pivot. It's setting new direction for things. So the main thing that I want to get into, I'm not going, the standard episodes are more so for me getting into, I guess, the philosophies and my insights and whatnot. So I'll expand upon this in the next standard typical episode. This one, I want to, the artsy Biz and Chill, I want to also be focused on my products and my art and the things I'm putting out. So two-prong is, like I said, the book that I'm making, Afro-Feminine Escapetivities. The whole name is Revitalize You with Afro-Feminine Escapetivities. And it's a companion guide to the speculative fiction. So ultimately, each month I'm writing, like I said, a new short story. All of this is culminating into a anthology where I'm collecting all the short stories, adding my art and everything. And then, there's downloadable version, but especially putting out a physical copy of the book. And that is called the Cosmic Africana Anthology. It was, if you are familiar with me and what I've been working on since the beginning of 2026, maybe tail in 2025. It was originally Cosmic Noiris. When I be saying it, I just be thinking Chuck Norris. And for branding reasons, because I have Afro-Feminine, I just feel like Africana, it's not taking you, it's just linguistically, it connects better. So, and because I have my own interest in West African culture and spirituality, that's eventually going to be in December. That's going to be a part of my travels for Daddy December, and finding out the details of my ancestry and whatnot, especially for my ancestors who first arrived in America, and potentially just, I'm interested in understanding my history from a pre-colonial standpoint. Because it seems I can't even say seems like, it's just the narrative of being Black is constantly about the shit that happened to us. And I understand the framework of addressing it, because in America, we live in a country that keeps trying to rewrite and erase the realities of slavery and the fallout after that with segregation and the issues that still persist to this day. But I've also been seeing how disempowering it can be. And really, I'm into spirituality and energy. Like, it's an energy extraction for our focus to constantly be on the horrible shit that happened to us and the motherfuckers who did it, and keep trying to play these mind games about it. So I am invested with Cosmic Africana, the stories that I write, the Afro-feminine escapativities, is getting the focus back on us holistically and without, like, the struggle is always going to be there, but it doesn't have to be central to our identity. And that's just what I want to emphasize. That's especially what I'm emphasizing with the stories I tell. Like, I'm not, I'll bring up issues or whatever, like, these things do matter to me, but it's not central. Black trauma, Black struggle is not central to my storytelling. Thus, the escapism is what's draining, is constantly being told that you're the underdog, that you're at a disadvantage, that you're fighting uphill. And it's like, yeah, in certain ways, but that's also, to me, a psyop, because it perpetually puts you in a state of fight or flight. It's perpetually keeping you exhausted. It's perpetually keeping you in a state of rage. And that shit is tiring. It is draining. Like, I had like a brief interaction with this one chick on Threads, and I don't remember, like, she posted something Black women related. I don't remember the exact words, but I had like quoted it. I reposted and said something. Maybe I said it like I should have. Like, I'm just riffing. I don't have it in front of me. Then I'm like, I'm going off of vibes. But I think I had said along the lines of, like, us not continually making that our central focus. And she had, like, spoken about, I'm going to keep fighting for our community. I'm tired. And that in itself, that is the spell. That is the drain. You are fucking tired. And you're trying to normalize being tired all the time and continually pulling from the exhaust pile, the remaining bits of life force that you have, to keep pushing forward and to keep pouring into everybody else. And you are perpetually tired. That is not normal. That is not conducive. That is not sustainable. And I'd had a conversation with a new affiliate partner. She's a Black woman who has created her own hemp-derived beverage brand called Al Noir. And I previously worked, provided service in the cannabis industry for 7 years. And she's been in for a longer time, and she's made substantial, changes with the advancement of Black women and Black people in the industry. And right now, even she's like, I created this brand as like an escapism, which is kind of like why we're on the same page with everything. But it really got into where she's like, I did the advocacy work. I have lupus. I'm tired. I can't keep doing the advocacy work. I can't keep doing stuff and not making money. So just even that framework is part of what no, I'd already decided to shift, but it's like, it further emphasized like what I'm doing with the storytelling, with Cosmic Africana, and the companion guide, the Afro-feminine escapativities, because, so I find the conversation, even when it comes to being an artist, it's, an artist is supposed to reflect the times. I think Nina Simone said that. And us being a voice for this, and that. But I guess as I've been getting in my boomer Gen X vibe, as I've been accused of with kids online, is like the conversations are important and all, but you have to start doing shit. And especially as artists, you need to be considering a framework with which to get people to take action on things. Because even when I was talking to the Al Noir owner, her name's Amber Center, she was saying, like, my family, people keep telling me to rest, but I don't even have a concept of what that's like. Like, I talked to a new peer named Keisha, who's based out here in Baltimore, Maryland, and she works in the cannabis industry. And we were gonna meet up last week, and she's like, "Oh, I can't do it. Like, I have horrible migraines." So I'm like, telling her, "All right, bet, like, rest." It was like fucking oven outside because it was like Independence Day weekend. And she's like, "Yeah, everybody keep telling me to go rest and take care of myself because clearly my body's demanding that of me." And I'm like, yes, the culture is saying it. That, like, even that in itself is you telling black women to rest. And I'm seeing black women talk about, well, I feel bad if I'm not doing anything. And not really, or just going along with what's trendy as far as self-care, as opposed to cultivating actual wellness, which is ultimately like the overarching, maybe movement or just energy, the frequency of what I'm doing. And that I say, and with my positioning or whatever, is that that what I am doing advances Afro-feminine art and wellness. There has to be that, maybe I'll say creativity and wellness, imagination, whatever. But ultimately, the wellness component it's not about a trend. It is, we are humans in a body. Because Amber even said that on our call, that really resonated with me. And just, I've spoken about it on previous episodes, where it's baffling to me when I have people, like, I've encountered people saying underhanded shit or hating on me because I eat well and I exercise, or they're jealous of how tight my body is or how I look younger or whatever. And it's like, bitch, this isn't just genetics. I took care of myself. Like, I don't eat garbage most of the time. Like, I do enjoy shit food. I do enjoy junk food. I am a foodie. I like flavors. But, like, balance. And, you know, I have my own awareness. Like, my mom has had chronic health issues throughout my entire life. Not many people have had to go through your mother's in and out of the fucking emergency room. And especially, like, a major turning point for me was, I think she had come home from work or whatever, and hearing your mother cry does something on a visceral level. But I go and check with her, and then I have to call my dad. We go to the emergency room because she had a cyst burst on her ovaries. And I was like, I was in I don't remember how, I was in high school at the time. So between 16, 18 years old, I'm faced with that reality. Then, in 2013, a couple weeks, or maybe not even a couple weeks after my brother died, I'm in the shower and I'm at my parents' place. And my mom's banging on the door because they said she's having a fucking stroke. Like, these kinds of things and then me having skin issues from hormonal imbalance, and me having lower back problems where I've had moments where I couldn't fucking walk because I wasn't exercising. So yeah, I'm going to take care of myself because I'm in a body. We are spirits in a body. You still have to, if you invest in so much in a vehicle, in your art supplies, in your hobby, in your home, all your stuff, but you're not taking care of yourself, you're being stupid. You have to take care of yourself. There's nothing else around that. So just for, if you want a certain quality of life, or even when it comes to your mental health and stability, how you're taking care of your body factors into that. So this holistic wellness element, I consider dabbling in your imagination with some healthy escapism to be a part of that. So that gets into why I'm writing the stories that I write, and most importantly, the companion, or it's not more important, but what's valuable to me is the companion guide that I'm selling to just pair with, that this isn't just something you do when you're bored or because everybody's saying, oh, let's be on self-care. No, it's a lifestyle shift. It is evolution. It is you making this deliberate choice to improve your quality of life. And when it comes to the Cosmic Africana stories, like I said, I'm not centering Black trauma or struggle or relationship dysfunction. There is grounding in reality. There is like dabbling in contemporary issues. But ultimately, I have a laid back approach where I want you to feel good about the characters, about the environments, the stories. It's something that I've known on an intuitive level, but was even more emphasized when I had read Hideo Kojima's book, Creative Gene. And Kojima, he's a video game director. He's made Death Stranding, Metal Gear Solid, some other shit I haven't played. When I was refining my Japanese, he had a podcast when he was working at Konami, and those assholes deleted it. So I guess those podcasts are gone forever. But I just really liked his voice and his personality and the things that I did understand from when he was talking about his different projects and everything. But in Creative Gene, that book is pretty much like Kojima pulled his inspiration from like the books that he read and the films that he watches. And the book goes into like, he talks about overall that going into the, like, reading a book, watching a movie is going into another world. But it gives you another perspective that once you're done reading, whether you finish it or not, and you come back to your own life, there's things that you can apply to your life that you get from understanding somebody else's perspective, or just like being in a different type of just imagined world. It's not solely just for entertainment. It's going in with the intention. Like, that's my whole thing. It's like, I'm not just making this to entertain you because you just want to take a break from life and then go back to the same bullshit. No, when you interact with my work and I make it known, you should be using your brain, or unconsciously in your brain, going through that was like a work alarm. But you should unconsciously in your brain be considering, just reflecting on what you just took in. And especially, so I found, if you may realize that you're a miserable motherfucker. You may realize that you being performative is corny and whack, and maybe you should try showing up in life more as yourself. So, maybe you want to understand more about particular culture, or go visit another country, or try a substance. Like, because so far, my last story, Chronesthesia, is like the main character, she retired herself for the age of 30, moved to Thailand, and then she reconnects with like her older sister, her niece, who live in Japan. And, they talk about their own experiences as well as like cultural aspects where they have bloodline powers and where those powers come from, and aspects about their parents and their lineage and whatnot. So that is, that's the thing. That's the thing. So if you want, so I'm going to conclude there. If you are interested in reading my short stories, getting the companion guide, keeping up with me on social media, checking out my services, any of that, all those links are available in the show notes. And I implore you to subscribe if you vibe. Consider liking, share with love, and comment wisely. And that's a wrap. Be sure to catch the next episode. And deuces. Malainayo out for pleasure and glory.